I would define male privilege as the ability to um, oppress the opposite sex without knowing it. And my definition comes from, knowing those things that I talked about, like, the whole thing with the hair, like not having to worry about, whether my hair is presentable because it's bald. There is none. Women have to be concerned about that. They can't just, especially in, in the professional world.
Certainly, one area that I think men don't think about is how I feel like we don't have to think about how safe we are on the streets. Um, if I'm out walking downtown Houston after a ball game or something like that, it doesn't even occur to me that I need to take special care. Maybe I shouldn't be there or something like that. And this actually became more. This occurred to me more when we were living in Cairo. And I thought nothing of going out at night and walking around, the vibrant streets of Cairo. But when Katie was thinking of doing that or something, I was very reluctant about that. So it made me realize, well, why couldn't anybody walk the streets of any city? Another area that I think about that most men probably don't think about, but sometimes I do, is that this issue of child care and about division of responsibilities. Um, Obviously women are expected to be the caretakers, and if one parent's going to stay home during their career, it's most likely to be a woman, and that's actually what we ended up doing. So I guess we fell into the traditional roles in that case. But what I've also noticed is that there's an assumption that because Katie's, I guess, the primary caretaker of the kids, or at least especially when they were very little, that when I would be home and being taking care of them, many women would say to me, "Oh, you're doing some babysitting, or you're being a Mr. Mom or something like that." And my response was, "No, I'm not babysitting. I'm the parent. I'm parenting." So it was interesting how it gets flipped, that if men do above and beyond kind of what's expected, then that's a big deal. That's considered, I was being a great dad.
I'm a literature major, and I guess having read lots of fiction all through school and also learning history all through school, I've noticed tons of male privilege just in terms of what they have us read. It's almost exclusively male authors. I mean, I gotta say, in most of my classes, with the exception of a women in literature class, which is specifically designed for that, we read very little books by women.
There are no assumptions about what I can do as a male. There's a lot of examples of things that I can do because I am a male. Things that you see on television, on the news, in politics, everything is all how males are the ones in charge, or the ones who know best, or the ones who just have all the answers, so to speak. I never have to worry about how I come across. If I am assertive, I'm just making my claim. I am just doing what's expected of me. I don't have to worry about someone thinking of me as a bitch.
Well, I think oftentimes men, because we're in a position of privilege, we don't think about how we're privileged. Just kind of like a fish in the water doesn't realize they're in water. Men don't realize that, we might have a leg up on getting a job, or in ways that I'm assumed to be in charge in the way a woman isn't. So I pay attention all the time when I'm out to lunch with a woman, whether it's my wife or a colleague or something. I always get the check, or people look to me to speak first, or something like that. And so there's all kinds of ways that we are assumed to have some kind of authority. And so I don't think we recognize that, maybe because we assume it's that's the right way to work. That's the right way things are supposed to be. I mean, we all like to think that I made it. I mean, it's very American to think I made it by my own bootstraps. I pulled myself up, and I'm smarter and got. But I guess I'm very aware that as a white male, it was easier for me to do well in school, to get recognized in school, to get mentored in school, and so then I can think about myself as, oh, I can go on to college, and then I can go on to graduate school.
I feel like most men, we grew up in a society that kind of compels us to be these macho men, and this is what a man is supposed to be like, and we don't have the opportunity to really learn about ourselves. We're told how, we're shown how, videos, commercials, the whole football sports atmosphere is, this is how a man is supposed to be. We're supposed to be drinking beer, watching football. We're supposed to holler and do the cat calls to women as they walk by. We're supposed to do that, and I don't think men see it as male privilege. I don't think they understand what it is, but I just think they feel like they have the privilege or the right to do that. So, definitely don't think they know. A lot of men don't know what male privilege is, but I think they just exercise the right that they feel they have to do those things that we see in society. It's pushed on us.
Some examples from work. We have several departments, probably 7 or 8 departments, as well as 4 main managers. All 4 of the main managers are men, and only 2 of the department managers are women. So I guess already that says something that maybe people think that men are more capable of leading, or more capable of running a department.
So I think, where I'm at is partially because of my privilege. I didn't have to undo any stereotypes about me. I tell my students, when Timothy McVeigh did his thing, there was a white guy with an Irish name. I never had to think, oh no, now my group is going to be universally condemned because of what this one guy did. Things like that remind me that I never have to think that way. As a male, that something somebody else does is going to reflect on me. And I think that's where the privilege really plays into it. That I'm treated as an individual, and maybe my individual talents get me to move along. I don't have to overcome a group stereotype. Maybe that made a big impression on me somewhere, probably in college, where I realized, oh, I don't have to think about how is this behavior going to reflect on my group, because my group's the one in charge. So I'm treated as an individual, not as a representative of any group. And I think that's true of being a male as well as whatever other categories I'm in.